there and welcome back. It's Lisa from Critters'n Ink Designs in Ontario, Canada. And today I'm going to be doing some alternatives for the May paper pumpkin. And it's this one, if you recall. And I did do a quick video with the three that are you see here. And I had said that I would do some alternatives. So I'm going to, let me scoot down to my desktop here. So these are the three that I did the other day, last week, before I went to, so the person making all the noise here is Doreen. She's here for our monthly craft weekend. And say hi.
Hi.
So these are the three that we did last week. I've been away all week helping with the kids. My daughter had to travel for work. But I'm back, and I was going to try and do these while I was at my daughter's, but it just didn't work out. So anyway, here they are. So this is the first one that we did, I think. I don't remember what order I did them in, but you can see the video. If I can figure it out, I'll try to link it up above somewhere. I see people linking old videos all the time, so I'm gonna try it. This was another one that we did, was just really cute. I didn't put anything in the centers yet, but I will. And I have to get these in the mail to our two sons-in-law, who are dads. And then this was the third one that we did, using all of the elements from the cards in the kit. So let's put these aside. Now, I was fiddling around before I went to Emily's, and I did do this when I saw this one on the website. And I thought this was kind of fun. And I cut these three elements. I cut out a whole bunch of them, actually. I put a movie on, and I cut out a whole pile of this piece. These are the three that were in the leftover from what came in the kit. That it comes with punch outs, so I just punched everything out. And then it also came with this shape. I've moved my camera around, so I'm trying to figure out where it is. So I've taken this shape, and what this is basically is just one of these cut in half, okay? Or not in half. It looks like in 2/3. And then there's also this shape was in the kit, okay? So as I said, I pre-cut a bunch of them, and I used the Thanks and Beyond die set that is available only to Paper Pumpkin subscribers, and they coordinate with the April, May, and June Paper Pumpkin. And you still, if you're not a Paper Pumpkin subscriber, you still have until the 10th to subscribe to Paper Pumpkin if you'd like to get the June Paper Pumpkin and this cute little set of dies. Now what Paper Pumpkin is, it's a monthly subscription, and it comes in a little orange box like this every month. And it's delivered right to your door. The cost of the subscription includes shipping. And if it is a stamping kit, sometimes there's no stamping, it's pre-printed, but this one in particular is a stamping one. And it does come with these stamps. And the way I store them is on the Paper Pumpkin website, you can download this insert, I guess, and it fits into the little stamp, what do you call these, like holders, and you can buy these. They come in sets of 4. I'm not sure how much they are, but they're not expensive at all. They come in sets of 4, and you could store them in there, but because I don't have this space, I just bought these envelopes on Amazon. They're by Avriel, and they're really heavy gauge. They're really nice, and I store them in a plastic shoebox by date with the most recent one at the front. So, I mean, that's an option. And then it comes with a little, oh, what did I do with that? A little, oh, right in the box. So it comes with this little thing that you could put in a little square envelope. This is 4.5 by 4.25. So if you could find a little, you know, heavier gauge envelope online, you could definitely just store them this way. And it fits the stamp set is here. Let's grab it. But I've been doing this. This is new. They just started doing this a couple of months ago. And so I've been doing it with my shoebox way since I started getting Paper Pumpkin back in 2018, I think. So this is the stamp set, so you can see that, you know, this would be a great little way to store them if you could get the little plastic envelopes that you can see through. Okay, so that's that. That's how they come. I'm going to leave this out because I'm going to be using them. Ugh, I'll just put that over there. Okay, so I said I was going to do a couple of alternatives. So I've been doing a little bit of research. Again, this is one of the ones. We can redo this one just so you can see what it looks like. Very, very easy to do. So what I did was I took one of the card bases, like this one, and I just cut it up. And I do that all the time. Oh, you know what? Before I forget, a couple of things I want to show you. So for the month of June, there is a bundle sale. Oh, wrong thing. Oh, it changed my picture. Good grief. Hold on a minute. Here we go. Beauty. Okay, so for the month of June, there is a bundle sale. Not all, select bundles are 10% off of the current bundle price, which is already 10% off. So, like a bundle is 10% off if you buy the stamp set and the dies together. And this only applies to die bundles, not to punch bundles or any other kind of bundles. So, so it'd be a set of stamp with the coordinating dies is a bundle. You normally get 10% off when you bundle it, and now you're going to get an extra 10% off. So that's 20% off for that particular bundle. And also during June, we have two new, oh, and there's also, if you don't have a cutting machine for your dies, all three of the die machines are currently 10% off for the month of June. So that's the Big Boss, the great big one that you see me use, as well as the two smaller ones. There's the white one and then the blue, boho blue one that you find in the online store. It's only available in the online store, and it's also 10% off, so great deal. And then also in June, there's two new kits. Every month they add two new kits, and this one is a journaling kit. And there's actually, I will link the video. There is a really good video that Sarah did. Sarah, who's the CEO of Stampin' Up, she did a really good video on this, putting this travel journal together. And then there's the Expressions of Kindness, which we got to actually preview while we were at our DDM event in Ottawa a couple of weeks ago. And let me tell you something, it's absolutely gorgeous. And I've just ordered two of the kits. Kits are only there as long as they're available. So if you think that this calls your name a little bit, go ahead and order it before it's gone. All right, let's go back to the desktop here. All right, perfect. And let's see. So why don't we start with an alternative. So I'm going to do this one. So my card base on this one is crumb cake. So let me grab a piece of crumb cake and my trimmer. And I'm going to make my card base out of the crumb cake. So what I'm going to do is I have an 8.5 by 11, and I'm going to line up the 8.5 side at 4 1/4, and I'm going to take my scoring tool, which is the beige one as opposed to the dark brown one. The dark brown one is the cutting one. The beige one is the scoring one. So I'm going to just score right down the center at 4 1/4, and then I'm going to rotate it one turn, and I'm going to cut it at 5 1/2 using my brown blade, and that's my cutting blade. And so now I have two card bases. So I'm going to take my other card base that came in the kit, and I'm going to trim this down to 4 1/4 by 5. And what that will do is give me a bit of a, oh, that's wrong. 4 by 5 1/4. I'm losing my mind. So if this is by 5, then I'm going to do this one at 3 3/4, I think. Is this 5? Yeah, losing the marbles. Okay, so 5 by 3 3/4, just so that I have the same size of, I'm going to keep this, same size of border all the way around. See, you can always fix things. It's just paper. All right, so let's take 3 of these little pieces that I punched out. Now, these are a little bit smaller. This piece is smaller on my new card, so we're going to have to be a little bit creative with how we place them, but that's okay. So I have my 3 here, and I'm going to take my tree die and my D block. Now I'm using the ergonomic blocks, but when you get your first paper pumpkin, you do get, let me see if I can find a paper pumpkin one. Yeah, there's a paper pumpkin one. So it'll say paper pumpkin on it, but they are the same size. They're just not as thick. Okay. So I like the ergonomic ones better myself. They're available in the online store. So I'm going to plunk that onto my block, and I'm going to take early espresso, and I'm going to stamp a tree, a set of trees onto each of my little hexagons. So what I'm doing to make sure that they're straight is I'm lining up the tree trunk, which is straight to the side of that hexagon, because the first one I did, it was all lopsided and I didn't like it. So I'm lining that up, and I'm just going to stamp. So there's one. There's 2. And there's 3. Okay. Now, let's see. Close this so I don't get ink on anything. So we're going to line that up like that. So let's go ahead and glue that. I'm just going to center that right in the middle of this card base like that. And I'm going to fold it. I'm going to do the folding and burnish that score mark before I get things on dimensionals, just to make my life easier. So I'm going to go ahead and just burnish that score line. And then I'm going to glue 2 of them down and then put the third one up on dimensional. So I'm going to put these like this. And then the third one is going to go on dimensionals like this. So let's go ahead and glue these. So I had a great week with the grandkids this week. My 4-year-old one had her first ballet recital, and oh, they were so cute. Most of them didn't know what they were doing. They're only 3 and 4 years old, but God, they were cute. So I'm just going to see if those are kind of even enough. Works for me. And then this one I'm going to pop up on dimensionals. Gosh, can you hear Georgie? She's just being a real nuisance this morning. I've been away for 4 days, and she's just, well, actually I think it was more than that. 4, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Anyways, most of the week. And now she's just being super needy. She's being a real pain. And the back door is open, so she doesn't need to go out, because she could if she wanted to. I don't know about this cat. She sounds like she's in agony up there. It's like, what the hell? All right, so I'm going to pop this one right, right in the middle like that. Oops, it's a little bit low. Let me pop it up. Ugh. Man, I don't know what's wrong with her, but I know. There, that's better. Okay, so there's our 3. Okay, so now we need to do like a greeting like this one. So let me grab some Misty Moonlight. So I have some scraps here of Misty Moonlight. And I've put Happy Father's Day onto a block here. And let me just give it a quick wipe. It's been sitting on my desk. So we're going to use the white embossing powder. I keep mine in a little dish that I got from the dollar store. I think I got this there. But they come in little jars. Let me show you. Well, here's my little jar. So they come in little jars like this, but I just pour them into here just because for me it's easier to use. But I keep my little jars in case I'm going traveling and then I don't have to carry a lot of big stuff. Now the embossing powder was on back order. It's back in stock this week. All right, so I've got my embossing buddy here. And what this is, it's like a little powder puff kind of a thing. You can see the powder on my fingers there. And what this does is it eliminates static electricity or oils. It neutralizes the oils on your fingers. And it doesn't, what it does is it stops the embossing powder from sticking where you don't want it to stick, because once you heat it, it's on there forever. All right, so I'm going to take my Versamark ink and I'm going to ink up my Happy Father's Day. And I'm just going to pop it right on here. Not very straight, but that doesn't matter because we're going to cut it out. So let me grab my embossing powder. And you could be generous because it's all, whatever doesn't stick, it's going to go back into the container anyway. So that looks like a nice application there. I just got a little bit of powder right there that I don't want it. Now I could use my big brush, but I have an old, like an eyebrow brush here. I'm just gonna, there. There, I think we're good. All right, so let me grab my heat tool and get that out of the way. You don't want to warm up your embossing powder. You'll just have a big melted mess. Okay, here we go. So you can see it changing color. There we go. Okay. And what I'm going to use for this, I think, are the deckled rectangles. Oh, I should show you this. So the Embossing Essentials kit comes with a little tray, your embossing buddy, reverse tweezers. Now I could have used the tweezers to hold it. If I had been using a smaller piece of paper when I was using the heat tool, this will allow you to hang on to this without burning your fingers. And then it also comes with this brush. Oops, this brush. I told you I moved my camera and I'm used to it being over to one side instead of right in front of me. Yeah, so these tools, not this. This comes as the Essentials Embossing Kit. It's a great kit if you do a lot of heat embossing, which I do. So you might want to check that out online there. Okay, so I'm going to grab my deckled rectangles dies. And let me see. These are online exclusives. I thought they were in the catalog, but they're not. They're in the online exclusives. So I will have a link to them below in my description. So I'm going to use the smallest one, and I'm going to cut out the Happy Father's Day like this. So let me grab a pair of scissors here. And let me grab my little embossing machine again. And I have a piece of washi tape. So let me pop this onto here like this. Make sure I'm straight and centered. There. Okay, and I'm just going to run that through like that. There. So there we have our little sentiment. So I'm going to pop the, let me just put these away. So let's grab some dimensionals. I think I just have little ones. Oh no, here's some big ones. And I'm going to put them, I'm going to put one on this side. Then I'm going to put a bit of glue. Oh, jeepers. I'm going to put one dimensional on this side, and I'm going to put a bit of glue here so that I can put it like this. So let me grab my glue. I'm just going to put a little bit right there. And then I'm just going to stick this right on here like this. There, perfect. Now on the inside, I'm going to take a piece of basic white that's 4 by 5 1/4. I might have to trim this. Yep, this is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So let me trim it to 4 by 5 1/4. By 5 1/4. And then I have this piece of paper that we had cut off. Remember, I cut this one too big. And so I have this piece that I cut off earlier. So I'm going to stick this just along the edge here, like that. Just because I can. Glue. I'm just going to put a line of glue on here because I do have to trim it. I'm just going to pop that right on there. And then I'm just going to trim this little corner off. And then on the inside, there is a stamp that says, with love and admiration to the most amazing person. So why don't we pop that on the inside? So let me grab a block again. And let's see. Well, we used early espresso before. Let's just use early espresso again. So I'm going to go ahead and ink this up in early espresso. Let me just find a piece of scrap to test it on here. Yep, it's fine. So see how straight I can get this. Perfect. I have ink all over me. There. Okay, so I'm going to pop this on the inside of here. I didn't trim that very well. Let me give it another little haircut here. There. There. Ooh, make sure you put it in right side up. And then I'm just going to pop that right in there. Like that. Okay, so there's one card done, and then we can do the same as we did on the envelopes and just stamp a couple of the trees onto the front of our envelope if you like. And then for the next card, let's see. Okay, so I'm going to take a piece of this card base, and I'm going to cut it down to 4 by 5 1/4. Now you could use the actual designer paper if you wanted to, and it's this one here. So what we could go ahead and just use the designer series paper that we have here. Why not? And save that card base for something else. So this is what's on the other side of this. And in these packages, you do get 2 sheets of each one. This one is called Country Woods, and it's available in my online store as well. I'll put the link below. So let's save that card base, and let's cut this to 4 by 5 1/4. So I'm going to cut this at 4. By 5 1/4. Now, if you don't have a trimmer, this trimmer is great because it's a trimmer and scoring tool all at the same time. It's really great. All right, and put that aside. And I'm also going to take a piece of the designer series paper that looks like our envelopes. And I've already cut a piece earlier that was 4 by 5 1/4. Actually, I cut a couple of them, and they're 4 by 5 1/4, same as this one. So what I want to do is I want to cut them on the diagonal together so that we'll get 2 card fronts. So I have them layered, and I'm going to line up the top point of the layer in the blade track and the bottom corner on the diagonal like that, okay? Now, because I'm cutting from corner to corner, I don't want to risk my blade damaging my corner. So I'm going to start in the middle. Just make sure that I'm lined up here. And I'm going to start not on the outside, but in the inside so that I can then have my my corners not get wrecked. So let's put this aside. So this is what we're going to, whoops, I'm going to have a Crafty lunch there. So this is what we're going to end up with. So one sheet like this and one sheet like this. So now we have 2 card fronts. Isn't that cool? Ta-da! Okay. Now let's see. We can use our other crumb cake card base. So I'm going to fold my card base. It's 5 1/2 this way. Let me measure this. Yes. So it's 5 1/2 this way, 8 1/2 this way, and I've scored it at 4 1/4. So there's our card base. Okay, I'm just going to fold that, take my bone folder, and just burnish my fold. And then I think I'm going to take a piece of early espresso. So I'm going to cut a piece that's 5 3/8. 1, 2, 3. 5 3/8. By 4 1/8. I think that's right. If not, you know what? It's only paper. 4 1/8. let's try this. So if we put this on here, we're going to get a very slim little margin. And then these are going to sit on here with a very slim little margin. Yeah. So you just have that little bit of espresso there to give a bit of a frame, like. Alrighty, so let's glue our first few layers together. So I've got our early espresso, and I'm just going to layer that right in the center. Okay, and then we're going to put one layer down. And again, it's only going to be like a 1/16 of an inch little frame. Okay, there's that side. Now we do this side. Now you could do this too, like with the other piece, if you like the stripe. Actually, maybe we should do the other one that way. What's on the other side of this and this? That would work too, actually. I don't think it's as exciting as that. Oh, maybe. We'll see. All right, let's get this down. So I'm going to put that right up against the wood grain. And then we have our little frame all the way around. There, that looks really nice. So the next thing I'm going to do is, let's see, I think I will take the deckled circles, which are also an online exclusive. I love these circles. When I saw them, they first came out in the January mini catalog. And when I first saw them, I thought, oh, I gotta have those. So let me grab, I don't want one that's too big. I think, let me grab my stamps here and see how big we need to go for these trees. So that's pretty big. This one might be too small. Actually, no, I think I like that. This one is going to work. So let's use the smaller one. Let me just layer these guys back up. I make sure that I count all my dies before I put them away, because it's so easy to have one fall on the floor and then roll under something and you'll never ever see it again. So let me grab a scrap of basic white here. And I think I'll do this in early espresso again. I did bring out the Misty Moonlight too, but I think we'll just do this in the early espresso. So let me just do my trees. And I'm just going to pop them over here. And I'm putting them off to one side because I want to cut a smaller circle that says happy birthday as well. So I'm going to cut this out like this. That works. But I'm going to have to give this a little haircut because it won't fit in the mini embossing machine. I could grab my big one, but that's okay. All right, so let me grab the mini cutter here. Okay, and I'm just going to pop this in there like that. I think that looks okay. And there's our little circle with the trees. And then I'm going to grab a birthday sentiment. Hang on while I grab a birthday sentiment. Okay, so I've grabbed the loveliest tree, and I'm going to grab this happy birthday here. So let's take that. Now this set is a red rubber stamp set. They're called Cling because of the nature of the sticky business here. And I have a little piece of washi tape on the end because it's easier to grab it off the block. So let me grab a smaller block here. No, it's too small. All right, so I have a little block here. Let me pick it up. And what did I do with my scrap? Here we go. So I've got my scrap here. And again, I'm going to take my early espresso ink and I'm just going to stamp kind of right in the middle. There, that looks great. And find a smaller circle decal die, but something that will just fit around the happy birthday. And that looks just fine. Okay, so we use that one. So let me grab our baby boss here again, and I'm just going to pop that right on there. I don't think I need to tape it down. I think we're fine. So let's run this through. So if you don't have a machine at all, a cutting machine, as I mentioned earlier, they're on sale, 10% off this month. But if you don't have any kind of cutting machine, I highly recommend that you get the larger one because that way you can use all the embossing folders and everything. If you get the little one, you won't be able to use the embossing folders. So if you don't have a machine already and you were thinking of getting one, I really suggest that you go for the bigger one, just so that you're not disappointed when the really cool embossing folders come out, because you will be missing out for sure. All right, so I'm going to take some twine here. So I've got some linen thread, and I'm just going to take a piece. Doesn't matter the size. I'm just going to kind of make a circle-y kind of thing with it, so that I have just something kind of sticking out, like when I put it on here, like that. So I'm going to glue this one down. So let's go ahead and do that. And I'm just going to pop that right there. Make sure I'm doing this the right way. I think up and over a bit, maybe. Yeah, that looks good. And then I'm going to put a little bit of tear and tape just to hold my string in place. Oh, I got a little carried away with the tear and tape there. Sheesh. All right, so I'm just going to put a couple little pieces on here to hold the twine. Not twine, linen thread. I take your pick tool because obviously that's not cooperating. Now, if you don't have a take your pick tool, this is a very cool tool. It has a gem picker upper on this end, and then this side has a pokey tool as well as a little spatula, and it also comes with a little embossing tool that looks like this. So it's got like a larger embossing ball on one end and a smaller one on the other end. And to use this, you just twist and pop it out, and then pop this one in and twist to lock it. And now it's in there. So these all come with the basic take your pick tool. Now there are other tools that you can buy to go with it. This is one of them. And this brush is for when you have a really detailed die and you want to poke out all the little bits. You just run this. It comes with a sponge, and you put it on the sponge plate and then just run this brush and it pops out all the little doohickeys that are stuck inside either the die or in the die cut. So that's a great tool. You've seen me use that, I'm sure. So I'm going to use my Take the Pick tool and I'm just going to pop the backing off of my tear and tape like this. And then, let's see, it goes this way. So I'm going to put I'm just going to give that a twist and have this like that. And put a couple of dimensionals on the back of that to pop it up. There, like this. That's Doreen's phone. She's working from home today from here. There, okay. So I'm going to pop this on here like this. Oh, you know what? I should have put this way. Maybe I'm just going to pop this off and put the string the other way. Because I kind of like it going maybe in the other direction. There, which way did I have it before? I had it this way. I want it this way. So I'm going to put it that way. I think I'm going to have to readjust my camera because I'm all over the place here. There. And pop this out like that. There we go. Oh, I did it wrong again. Good God. Okay, let me go this way. This way. Yeah, that's how I want it. Okay, so now I can pop these dimensionals onto there. That looks better. Okay, I think I like that better than having the string go the other way. And I grabbed some gems. Let me see if some of the ones that I grabbed will actually go with this card. I have some navy ones here. These are the Opal Rounds assortment. Why don't we use these? Because the other ones aren't calling my name. So why don't we use some of these? We'll use some of the blue ones. So let's open that up. So let's grab a couple of the dark ones here. All right, so let's see. Put two there. We'll put one down here. There, what do you think? It's pretty nice. And then on the inside, I'm going to use the same sentiment that we used earlier. This is 4 by 5 1/4. So I'm going to keep it that size, and I'm going to stamp again in Early Espresso. So let's ink it up. And I'm just going to pop that right in the middle. Hopefully straight. Yep, perfect. Well, as perfect as it can be. Yeah. Okay. So we can pop this on the inside of this card. And this reminds me, I haven't mailed out my June birthday cards yet. Oof. Got to get that going. They're all made. Sitting in I have a card journal that I do my birthdays in, and I try to do them a couple of months ahead just so that I'm ready, because you just never know what's going to happen, you know. Anyway, so there's that man's birthday card. Isn't that very, very cool? I love this paper. Oh, and then same thing, if you want to use your envelope, you can certainly just do that. So that's that one. Now we do have a couple of these card bases. We might as well use them. Oh, you know what we could do is this other thing that we cut out before. What if we did this? No, you know what? I think it really needs darker background. So I'm going to see if I can cut this shorter, smaller. If I cut this by 1/4 inch, I'm going to try that. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Okay, let me grab my trimmer. I have these two pieces together, and I'm going to cut off 1/4 inch. So I'm just laying my diagonal side right there. Hopefully this works. If it doesn't, you know what? It's only paper. Okay. And I need another piece of the basic of the or early espresso. That's 4 by 5 1/4. So let's trim this other piece of scrap here. So 4 by 5 1/4. And then let's see if this is going to work. Yeah, what do you think? I kind of like it this way. Oh, I think that looks very cool. Yeah. Maybe like this. Oh yeah, why don't we do it this way? Yep, love it. Okay, so I'm going to glue this part down. I just figure out how that's going to fit. I think like that. So let's see. I was talking to my daughter earlier. As I mentioned earlier, Isla's little dance recital was last night and the night before, and she's only 4, and she goes to bed usually about 8, 7:45. And so the last 2 nights, by the time we got back from the venue, which was in a whole different town, and got her, she was absolutely famished when we got back, that it was pushing 10 o'clock by the time she got settled when I was there. And oh, the poor little thing, she had to go to school this morning, and I'm sure she was just pooped. Okay, I think this time I will use the thanks die. And I'm going to cut it out of early espresso. Yeah, plenty. So I'm going to cut that out. And let's pop that on there. And then I'm going to cut one out of white as well. So here's the one in the early espresso. So just use my little pokey tool to get it out of there. Like that. So there's one. And then I'm going to cut one out of white. Well, here, I've got a piece that I was playing around with stencils the other day. So I can just cut one out of the white on this. Nobody will be the wiser. Don't waste your paper. And actually, I'm going to cut 2 maybe. I'm going to cut 2 and glue them together so that they're a little stronger. Although it's going onto a frame, I don't think it matters. But okay, let's see. What are we going to do with this? You know, I'm not sure that we even need to have this if we just do this. What do you think? Or do it this way? No, I like it better this way. Okay, so I'm going to put a little bit of glue just on the center part of, I should have closed my glue bottle, but I didn't. Okay, I'm just going to put a couple little dots of glue. That was not a little dot. My bottle is slightly clogged, so I'm getting inconsistent little dots here. All right. Okay, so where's my silicone mat here? Okay, so I've got my white, and I'm just going to put my espresso one on top, slightly offset. That looks pretty neat, doesn't it? I like it. There. And I think just to make it a little bit more dimensional, I'm going to put a second thanks underneath. Now I'm not going to put these on dimensionals simply because they're too skinny and I don't want to fight with dimensionals, you know, cutting them into little slivers and whatever. So I'm just going to do this. And I'm going to line up the white with the white. There, that looks great. There. Beautiful. Okay. So this is going to go onto here like this. What do you think? I think it looks pretty cool myself. And it's plain, it's simple, but it does the job. Maybe down there. Yep. What if you do it this way? Oops, stuck to me. So what do you think? Like that? Actually, I think I like this. This shows this off better. So let's go ahead and glue this down. A little heavy-handed with the glue here a little bit. All right, so there, let's pop this down here. Make sure it's straight, which it is not. That looks better. There, let that sit. And I'm going to look for some brown gems. Okay, so here's some of the ones that I've found. And you know what, to be honest, none of them are a great match. Except maybe this color. Now these ones are called the opaque faceted gems, and I'm not, let me look in the catalog. I'm not sure if they're still current. But you know what? You don't always have to use current. You can use what you have. So I don't think that these ones are current. I should start putting the dates on the back of these just so that I have a clue, but I do have these and they do kind of work. So I'm going to use these, but these ones would work too. 21, the Glossy Dots Assortment, or 23, Rainbow Adhesive Back Dots, which I do have. I didn't see them in my box, but I know I have them. And what else? These 26, the textured adhesive back dots, which I know I don't have. So that's these ones here. But I have these, so I'm going to use these. Go through your stash and see whatever you have and use those because, you know, you have them, you paid for them, you might as well use them. And if you get a card from me and there's cat hair on it, well, part of the deal. All right, let's pop. This is not cooperating. This is stuck to me. All right, so where am I going to put this? I think, let me see. I think I'm going to put a couple down here. And maybe a little one. Oops, crooked. Still crooked. There, that's better. So what do you think? I kind of feel like it almost needs something else, but I don't know what. Why don't we try some Wink of Stella on the thanks part. You know what? It's only paper. If I don't like it, I'll just cut another one and cover it. But let's try putting some glimmer on there. Yeah, that's not bad. There. That jazzed it up pretty good. There, look at this. Isn't that schwanky? Pretty nice. I like that. And then, so you always do your beads in like odd numbers. So this, we have 3. We could do 2 more. What if we did a couple more over here? Just because. Just because. So put 1 there and 1 there. Just to balance it out a little bit. Oops, crooked. Up you go. Come on. That's better. There. I like that. I think that's really nice. So then on the inside again, I'm just going to pop a basic white. Is this 4 by 5 1/4? Yeah. So I'm going to take some of the trees and I'm just going to pop a couple of trees in there on the inside. And I'm just going to leave it as a note card. So you could just go ahead and write a note. This thing is right in my face. Sorry, you guys. I have to figure out a way to do this better. There. Beautiful. And then I'm going to glue that right into the inside of our card. Oh, haven't even made the card. Good Lord. Okay, here's our card. I thought I had a card base. No, we used it. Okay, let's use this. We'll just use this. Yeah, so that's going to sit on there. Getting ahead of myself here. Okay, so that's going to go there. Okay, and then this is going to go on the inside. Now normally if the card base had a white inside, I wouldn't necessarily put another white layer in there, but I already have it prepared because for some reason I thought we were using a crumb cake card base, but that's okay. I'm just going to pop this right in here. There. Cute. Love it. Okay. So that's another alternative. So let's have a look and see what we've done so far. We've done 3 alternatives. So here were the original cards. What did I do with those? So here were the original, not those. These were the 3 original cards. So we had that one, and this one, and this one. Okay, and then for my 3 alternatives, we just did this one using the dies that are the add-on strictly for Paper Pumpkin. And then we did this birthday one, which is kind of cute. And Here's the other one that we made. Since we have two of those, I don't really need to show it. So there's 6 cards out of this kit. So those are some of our alternatives, plus the original ones from the kit called The Best There Is. So thank you so much for joining me. I'll list the products that are extra to the kit below in case there's something that catches your eye, like the deckled circles or the deckled rectangles, and the add-on dies for Paper Pumpkin subscribers. And if you'd like to subscribe to Paper Pumpkin and see what's coming up next month, you can hop on my Stampin' Up website, which is, well, I'll put the link below, but it's crittersinc.stampinup.net, and you can see the previews for next month's, or this month's Paper Pumpkin, which you have until the 10th to subscribe to that one. And don't forget the 10% sale on the bundles, as well as, so that with the bundle 10% already, plus the new 10%, that's 20% off bundles. So that's a really big discount, as well as 10% off all 3 of the cutting machines, which are in here. Let me see if I can find them. So the large one in Canada is $177, but minus 10%, so that's almost $18 off. And then the mini is $90 for the mini white one. And if I'm not mistaken, the boho blue one, which is the same as this, only it's boho blue, I think it's $87, but it's only available in the online store, and it's also 10% off. So yeah, check them out. And if you have any questions, as always, give me a quick email at crittersinc@gmail.com or lisa@crittersinc.com. Thanks again so much for joining me this afternoon. I really enjoyed doing this tutorial for you. And have a great afternoon. We'll see you soon. Bye for now.